Hey guys, I'm HP. This is Dr. Pink, and today I'm going to talk about basic bebop guitar. So what's about this? But before we get started, make sure to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button, and also join the HPCrazy Guitar Academy with the free membership accounts to interact with others, or with a premium membership account. So, basic bebop guitar or basic jazz guitar. First I'm going to show what I mean. Yeah, stuff like that. The concepts of bebop, well, they cannot be explained in one lesson. If you want to really learn bebop, you really need to study the whole theory and all what's behind. But to understand how bebop lines are made, this will help you. I'm going to show you on one chord. That's a problem. I'm going to show the concept on one chord and one mode. It's going to be Dorian. But the concept works on all modes, but then you really have to work it out on different chord progressions. And I also don't go into specific things like rhythm changes or stuff like that, where you have 2 chords per bar, which also is another concept. But I'm really gonna check out the double approach. I'm gonna check out the bebop scale, and how to do approach notes, how to do double approach notes, and all this stuff, and chromatic stuff. This is going to be the topic today, that you can understand that it's more just to get into kind of bebop lines, you know, not that you are able to play like a whole bebop tune through. That's a whole study, guys. Sorry to say that, but let's get started now. All right, guys, I already said the selected mode of today is Dorian. I'm going to choose why Dorian, because it's a lot of players among you are pentatonic players, and it's most near to the pentatonic stuff which you already know. And in this case it's C Dorian. So we take the C minor pentatonics, then we add the blues scale. This would be the C blues, and if you want to play, it's called bebop scale because of the chromatic approaches. That will be this one here. So this is the first step to get into bebop stuff. I'm going to come back to this later. And we're also using the C Dorian scale. That will be this one here. I'm gonna write the stuff down for you. Let's do this position here. So there are 2 additional notes to the pentatonics. That will be this one here. That will be the 9 and the 13. Oops. Yeah, I really have a strong headache today, guys. I cannot really think. So it's gonna probably be a pretty wild lesson today. Yeah, maybe it's gonna be cool because I cannot really think anything. I have such a strong headache. Okay. So now let's get started with the chromatics. Therefore you can I'm gonna have a backing track here. It's just it's called a modal backing track, just on one chord. Then we focus only on this mode. As I said, if you play a tune, you have a lot of different chords, and each chord has then a different mode. This is only for C Dorian, but you can transmit the concept on any other mode. That's important to know. So here we have the this already works. If you just play the bebop scale like this, it already works. But you need to have the proper swing groove, and that's the first step we need to go. Swing, to really be swinging, you have to try to always be laid back to get a proper smooth thing. How do you do that? You can play the scale. That sounds okay, but if you want to have it really tight, then you play, it's played in swinged 8 or tenor 8s. You play the ands, it's a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, but now you make an accent on the and, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. This really gives you a laid-back feeling. I'll show you how this works with the track. See how the phrasing changes just by highlighting the offbeat. And there's one simple trick to do that. Since it's always an upstroke, you just give the upstroke a special accent, okay? And then you already have a pretty laid-back phrasing, which is pretty cool, because phrasing is everything in jazz and bebop. Serious. It's I would say especially on guitar, because you always have this problem that you have this jumping. The jumping phrasing is not cool, like the horse jumping. You need to have the laid back phrasing. The jumping will be okay, so it has to be the other one. That's the first thing. The second one, and now we go to the Dorian scale, is figure out the approach notes. So if you play the scale, you always, when you approach notes, you can approach each note of the scale with a double approach. You can make chromatic from below. So if this is the scale, you make, so if you want to approach this note, you approach half step below. Okay, this one, or also this one. This one is chromatic from below. Okay, now you in bebop you make double approach, diatonic above, chromatic below. That would lead to this. If you want to approach this note here, diatonic is from the mode, chromatic. So okay, this one will be diatonic from above and chromatic from below. This one will be here. I forgot this one, sorry. My headache is really crazy today, sorry guys. This one, this one, this one, this one, and you could play a whole thing like this. And that works, okay? And if you do the proper phrasing, and that's pretty cool. Let's see how that works. let's do it here. And then you can use the bebop scale in between. When it comes to chromatics, as I said, you can just play the bebop scale. There you have a lot of chromatics. What you also can do, because chromatics is a lot of approach notes one after each other. Now I just played and resolve on a chord note, in this case the root note. With the proper phrasing. And that's really cool, and this is chromatic stuff. Or in triplets. Or what you often also do, this figure here. Okay. This is also chromatic approach. So now we have the double approach, we have the chromatic approach, and now we select a typical arpeggios are also very important. Arpeggios are the chord, in this case C minor 7, but you also include the options. The options in the case of Dorian would be 9, 11. So you make the... So we play the C minor 7, now the 9, hit 11. And this is a way of showing which mode is played. Also here, you jump on the so-called options. That will be the 3 remaining notes. In this case, we have 9, 11, 13. Okay, it's also cool. You start. What did I do now? I made a double approach on the triad, on the third. And then I continued with the arpeggio. Or you can do as a double approach. You can do one of the exercises I just showed and just continue and focus on those options. When you focus on the options, as I said, 9, 11, 13, these are these 3 notes. Here, the D, the F, and the A. This is a triad. So you can also focus on, these are called upper structure triads. This is a D minor chord above C minor. So you can highlight this, resolve with chromatic on the original chord. and so on. Making combinations out of all these techniques, it's what we call bebop lines. To repeat again, we can start from the pentatonics, add the blues scale, add the bebop scale with double approach here. This works if you don't want to get deeper into it, works. You can make the chromatic approach or the full chromatics. Or you can go to the mode of each chord. In this case, I just showed the Dorian. Will be this here. Oops, my headache, sorry guys. Yeah, and here you make a double approach, diatonic from above, chromatic from below. And then you can select any kind of note in the mode, make double approach. Oh, that one I forgot. Yeah, sorry, my headache. That's the double approach. This one here. If you start above with the approach, double approach, then diatonic from above, chromatic from below. If you start from the lower approach note, then you make a double chromatic approach. Okay? And then you continue. This case you make chromatic approach from above and below. It's also really cool. And so on. And last but not least, we have the upper structure triads built from the options. In this case, it's a D minor chord. And you just played above, as the name's saying, above the structure, C minor. That would be D minor over C. And then you go into the other stuff. And these are the elements which are used. They're used on each chord, each mode, of course, and the only thing which changes is the mode. But the technique, that's why the tutorial is called Basic Bebop Jazz Guitar, or Bebop Guitar. The technique is the same everywhere, just the modes change. Okay, guys, I hope these short exercises or tricks or tips helped you to get somehow into the world of jazz and bebop guitar. As I said at the beginning of the tutorial, this lesson will not be enough because there's a lot of other things to do, but the main thing about phrasing and creating lines over one chord was explained here. When it comes to different things, then you have whole structures. You have 2-5 chords. You have 1-6-2-5, and you have licks over the whole structure which is played, or rhythm changes a whole structure which is played, or blues is a whole structure, stuff like that. And this cannot be put in one tutorial. So this is just about how to do the phrasings over one chord, but then you have to follow the chords. Also, sometimes you have 2 chords per bar, and then you have another technique which is not explained here. That's all I wanted to say. I'm gonna write out some examples here and some tabs and provide the backing track for you in the HPCrazy Guitar Academy if you want to join there. And if you have any questions, you're free to ask there. I know the topic is not so easy to understand and takes some experience. I always try to make things as easy as possible, and that's all I wanted to say. If you love my channel, please share it to all your guitar friends, also all your other friends. Help the channel to grow, help the jazz division, which is pretty new. It started this year to grow. And keep on swinging, guys. The phrasing is everything. Don't make my teacher always said, don't make the galloping phrasing. That's the worst thing you can do. Serious. You can play any kind of things as long as you don't have the galloping phrasing. You're cool. If you make the galloping, it's we used to call it gumpity 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 gumpity. Like guys. Okay, me and Dr. Pink are saying bye and see you guys.